Hello and welcome back, team, for another live stream. So it is Tuesday, the 9th of July, and of course, we are going to, run through the charts, take a look at what is going on. Taking a look at what we can expect to happen. And of course, we will also take a look at anything that you guys want to talk about, anything that you guys want to look at as well. So, please do not refrain from putting anything you want to look at or anything that you want to talk about in the chat, because I will be more than happy to talk about it and take a look at it if you want me to take a look at something as well. So please do that. But before we get into it, please make sure that you do smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, of course, if you are new, turn that bell notification on so that you never ever miss another upload, and make sure that you watch this video up until the end, because I will be giving you some valuable information on what is currently going on within the market. So smash that thumbs up button, and of course subscribe if you are new. But enough of that, let's jump into the charts and see what is going on. Right, before we do so, I will just plug my laptop in just to ensure that it does not die, and then let's get in. So let's dive in. Let's see what's going on. So, where are we at this moment in time? Okay, well, we are very, very clearly at range low. Okay, we've been talking about this for a very long time. We've been talking about this range low for a very long time because remember, right? We've been looking at this bearish Elliott wave count here, right? And this bearish Elliott wave count is something that has now played out, and is something that I have been looking for it to actually play out as well. Okay, so of course, we were looking at this all the way back here at the end of wave 3, where I actually took a long trade on Bitcoin from here. Okay, and I was talking about this rise towards the upside to a possible end of wave 4, to then a pullback, okay, making another lower low on Bitcoin, okay, forming another another wave, okay, and completing this bearish count, right? We've been looking at this for a very long time now, and of course that has now played out. Okay, that has played out, and in this I have had many plans. Okay, the first plan was to actually long this towards the upside. Okay, the second plan was to short this, then the third plan was actually to long this, right? Which of course I have done so. Okay, I have actually entered into a long trade down here, and I am now long on Bitcoin. Okay, from around $56,700. That's where I am currently long from. So we are sat in a slight profit. Okay. At this moment in time, we are sat in a slight profit, but this is just a very, kind of like simple trade setup that I'm trying to view. It's like the context of it isn't the best. Predominantly when we see these big failed auction type trades, we do want to see lots of shorts trapped at the low, like we had back here. We had like 88 million trapped shorts at the low all the way back here. And we have, the context is a little bit different on this low, where we weren't seeing any shorts coming in. Okay, back here we had extreme fear in the markets. Everybody was very, very short, okay, on the market. However, here, we're just not seeing that extreme fear. And what I mean by the extreme fear is, of course, you can look at a fear and greed index, and you can sort of view when extreme fear is occurring. Okay. But when I am talking about extreme fear, I mean, a massive pullback with very aggressive shorting at the lows. For me, that is extreme fear. That's extreme FOMO. Okay. And, that's what I like to take advantage of. Up here, we had lots of longs opening up at the high. However, price failed to continue higher. So what happened? Okay. We saw price actually why is that not deleting? There we go. We saw actually price pull back. Okay, then all of those longs at the high had to cover, adding fuel to the fire, pushing that price lower. Right. We had the same thing here. Lots of shorts opening up. Okay, price started to rise. We had lots of shorts covering. Okay, continuing to push price higher. Right. So predominantly, and we had the same setup here. With lots of longs opening up at the high. So predominantly, this is what I like to look for. I like to look for lots of longs opening up at the highs and lots of shorts opening up at the low. Okay, and this is why the context of this trade is a little bit harder and a little bit more difficult, and just in general, just a little bit different. Okay, a little bit different to this because, again, we weren't seeing the extreme fear. We weren't seeing the extreme FOMO, okay, of all of the shorts opening up at the low. So there right now there isn't really like a key or like a real reason for price to rise. Okay, if you're looking at the in-market data, right? If you're looking at the in-market data and what is like, like what realistically moves the markets, okay, you can be looking at, price targets and all of that, okay, but those price targets are just guesses, okay? Those price targets are guesses. What we want to know and what we want to find is there a reason for price to move in one direction? Okay, and there's two ways that price can move in a direction. Okay, the first is the most obvious, which is, okay, new longs coming in. That will signal higher prices most likely. Okay, we also have new shorts coming in, right? The majority of the time, new shorts coming in. Okay, lower prices are to come, right? That is what is expected. Again, that is what moves the markets, right? But you also have, okay, the sort of like the blind side. This is what a lot of people are blindsided of. Okay, they don't understand that when you're exiting a trade as well, that is moving the markets. Okay, and arguably, when you're actually covering a trade, right? Say you're covering a long trade, so you're selling into the market, or you're covering a short trade, so you're longing in, you're buying into the market. Okay, that is what moves the market the majority of the time. Okay, these retail traders actually covering their positions, okay, by exiting their trade. That's predominantly what moves the market the most, right? So right now, okay, again, those are the two ways that the markets can move. Okay, we have new trades coming in, okay, or we have we have trades covering. Okay, again, covering, but when longs are opening, okay, and they have to cover, they're selling. When shorts are opening, okay, and they have to cover, that's buying back into the market. Right, so those are the only two ways that the market can. The only two ways that the market moves, right? Those are the only two reasons that market actually moves. Okay, those are the only two ways that the market moves. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at there. Okay, so at this moment in time, there's only one way. Okay, out of those two, okay, out of those two ways markets can move, there's only one way that can move the market at this moment in time, right? And that is new long trades coming in. Okay, if we get a lot of new long trades coming in, the expectation, okay, is price is going to rise. Okay. However, looking at this example here, okay, I think it's a little bit far back on. We'll have a look at actually this example here, okay, because there were lots of longs coming in there, right? So let's have a look at that example all the way up here, okay. So here, we had two for two, okay, reasons why the market could move, right? So we had lots of new long trades coming in. We had 13, or we can go back a little bit further, right? We can see 6.5 million new long trades coming in here. We can see 13 million coming in here, 27 million coming in here, 2.4 million coming in there, 1.7 million coming in there, and then 19 million new long trades coming in here as well, right? So we have a lot of long trades opening up, okay? And as price starts to pull back, okay, all of those long trades are actually underwater, right? So then there is a reason for price to continue lower, right? There is a reason because long trades will have to cover, meaning that they have to sell into the market, right? Selling into the market ultimately pushes the price down, right? So that's one of the reasons, okay? And that's like the one that a lot of people are blindsided by, right? The second reason, okay, is like new shorts coming in. Okay, so you can eventually see, right? We did actually see down here lots of new shorts coming in. Okay, we had 13 million new shorts there. We had 2 million there, another 13 million there. Okay, we go on a little bit, we can see 22 million. This is exactly what I mean by new orders coming in move the markets, right? You have 22 million new short trades coming in. What happens? Price decreases again. You have 55 million new shorts coming in. Okay, price decreases, right? Again, you can see here 26 million new long trades coming in. Okay, price then starts to rise. Okay, and initially, right? Okay, that's what moves the markets. But again, what a lot of people are blindsided by is that people covering out of their trades are also moving the markets as well. Okay, so everybody that longed up here selling into the market is pushing that price lower. Okay, but where we are right now is we don't have the huge amounts of shorts opening up at the low, right? We just don't see that. So there's no reason at this moment in time for price to rise towards the upside because there are no short trades to cover. Okay, the only way that we can actually start to see price rising, okay, is if we get new long trades coming in, right? That's the only way that we can start to see price rising. Okay, if new long trades start coming in. At this moment in time, we're not seeing that. So again, that's why this trade, okay, the context of this trade is just a little bit different, okay, a little bit more difficult, okay, because we understand that there is, a little bit of a lower probability chance of price rising, okay, a little bit of a more lower probability. And that's exactly why, I've entered into this long trade with very minimal amount of capital, okay, very minimal. I told the team on the Discord, right? Entering into this into a very light long trade with minimal capital. It's just a very small trade for myself because I understand that the probabilities aren't completely in my favor. Whereas, we had the short trade from here, we had the short trade from here, we had the long trade from there, we had the long trade from there, we had the short trade from there. In all of these cases here, the probabilities were in my favor because we had 2 out of 2 reasons why price could move. Okay, and when you don't have the reason of price moving because trades have to cover, either longs cover selling, okay, or shorts cover by buying. Okay, if you don't have that reason, you're not. It's a little bit harder to expect a move. Okay, because what you're doing there, okay, is you're expecting longs to come in when, in the reality of it, you're kind of just guessing where the longs are going to come in, right? You're kind of just guessing, aren't you? Okay. Whereas here, okay, when you have lots of shorts open up at the low, okay, and price starts to rise, then for certain, okay, that lots of short trades are underwater. When retail traders are underwater, okay, when they're offside, okay, they become very emotional. Okay, they become very fearful. Okay, and a lot of the time they will cover. Okay, and when these traders cover, okay, these short traders cover, right? Because of course they're considered trapped traders, right? Then they start to rise. Okay, they rise the price because they're buying back into the market. Okay, and ultimately that gives then the traders who didn't short at the low, an incentive to actually start to buy. Okay, so then you start to actually see new longs coming in, which then again, ultimately starts to continue that move towards the upside as well. Okay, so that is like the context that I would like to have seen here, but I haven't seen that context, right? I haven't seen that context, which is why I have entered into the long trade because again, right, we have to understand, right? I have seen some slight signs of strength, right? First of all, we've seen that failed auction of the range low. Okay, we also understand that possibly wave 5 is now over. Okay, and from that, right, we can actually be looking for a possible ABC correction, right? We've seen this, we saw this back here, okay, when we had the ABC correction off of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish count here. Okay, we have the A, B, C correction. However you want to look at it, right? There's so many ways that you can actually pull it, right? Okay, you can, you can see that as like the A move. Okay, that as the B move, and then you can see that as like the C move there. Okay, so initially, right, we had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish count. Okay, which then turned into an ABC correction, which actually turned into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bearish count as well. So again, right, we're kind of looking for that ABC correction, right? So, I have seen slight signs of strength, right, with the reclaim of the range low. Okay, I understand that, range trading is very simple and very easy to trade, really. Okay, and this is kind of what I'm viewing still. I understand that, yes, we are in this bearish market structure, and we've only tapped range high once, right? We've only tapped it once, and we've front run it each of the other times. Okay, but I do quite like the range low. Okay, we tapped the range low, a number of times here. Okay, where we've actually seen a rise. Okay, off of the original range low. Okay, 3 times, right? Then, of course, we have the updated range low all the way down here at the end of wave 3. Okay, and that's kind of what we're looking at for this long trade here, right? So I have seen, signs of strength, and I understand, yes, we're range bound here. Okay, so, the highest probability move really, okay, is actually a move back up to the mid-range of the parallel channel, okay, or range high in theory, right? Looking at, on a probability basis, okay, probabilities say we are going to mid-range. If we break that, we're going to range high, right, on a probability basis, okay? So, I do have to take advantage of this again, which is why I have entered into a small long trade, okay? But yeah, again, like I've been saying to the team, I'm not entering into this trade with significant size unless I start to see some major signs of strength, right? First of all, the monthly VWAP, right? That is a level that we kind of need to get above, right? For me to start seeing major signs of strength, right? Throughout the whole of this month, okay? I know we're only, 9 days into this month, right? But throughout the whole of this month, okay, we have been pushed and pushed and pushed down by this monthly VWAP. Okay, we can see it here. We can see it all at the start here. We can see it here. We tapped it to the dollar here. We actually also tapped it today as well and rejected off of it. Okay, so we are currently struggling to get above this VWAP. If we can get above it with strength and we can reclaim it, I'm happy to say here that we can actually look for higher prices. We can look for like $63,000, which is the if we zoom out, it is the, where are we here? We are at, is that 63? Yeah, 63. So we have the value area low of the entire range at $63,000 approximately. Okay, we can actually update it as well and just make sure that it is still there. Okay, so it's a little bit lower now. So like $62,700 approximately. Okay. So I would be happy to look for like $62,700 if we can see that reclaim, okay, or that like break of the monthly VWAP with some strength, okay. Then what I can do, okay, is I can actually add to the I can actually add to that long trade, right? So for me right now, I'm seeing slight signs of strength, but not major signs of strength, okay? Because remember, the context is very different now from okay, the previous like failed auction and swing failure trades that I've taken in the past, right? The context is very different because we don't have the extreme FOMO in the market. Okay, we don't have the mass shorting down here, which I would have liked to see. Okay, if we saw that, right, I would have entered into this with some nice size. Okay, because I understand trap shorts at the low means they have to cover if price forms that failed auction. If price starts to rise, then that pushes price higher. Okay, that's what I understand. Okay, that's what that's what happened here, right? That's what happened here. Okay, that's what happened here. Okay, it happens so many times. Okay, and it just creates that major pivotal point in price. And again, that's why I haven't entered into this with size, because we just don't have that. We just don't have that strong confidence. I can see that a few comments have come in the chat. So let me just pull up the chat and see. Damien, good to see you here. Good to see you back. Good to see you back, my friend. I got stopped out of the initial drop, a bit too aggressive, then waited for the re-entry. Right at the 1-to-1 stop loss below the invalidation of 53k. Long and chill entry from the from 55,500. Yes, so that's a really nice entry. 55,500 all the way down here. So that's a really nice entry. A little bit of a better entry than myself. 53 to 58 is where I got the fib. So 53 to 58. So yeah, you've pulled the fib. Where are we here? Yeah, and initially, right, this is something that I was kind of looking at as well. And I didn't trade it. Okay, I didn't trade it because I was looking for absorption into this level. So what I was actually noticing at that level was, where are my naked point of controls here? So at that level, what I was noticing, okay, was, have I still got it on the chart? Yes, I do. So we had naked point of controls down there, right? Let's just get rid of this for now. This is really annoying. Let's get rid of that as well. So yeah, what I was noticing was we had the daily naked point of control there at like 54,375 roughly. And we actually had two daily naked point of controls. We had one of them, then it was tapped. We got the rise up. Then we had, then we had another one there as well. Okay, so we had two daily naked point of controls at the exact same level. But initially, right, I was looking at that, but I wanted to see, for the trade entry here, I wanted to see absorption into the level, and we didn't quite get absorption. So yeah, I didn't actually take that trade. Because I was waiting for that absorption, which never occurred. But yeah, that would have initially been like a really nice trade setup. I like to look at this as like a GP786 with a naked point of control and absorption. That's how I like to trade the GPs, okay, the fib pools. I like to look for absorption with them. And naked point of controls. That's just like my preferred style. Of course, it's different for everybody else, and people can just be looking at GPs, at golden pockets, maybe 786s, maybe other fib levels with naked point of controls. Preferably for myself, I like to look for that absorption. So yeah, that's kind of why I didn't take that trade. But yeah, I did see price coming into that naked point of control with the GP 786 level. So, that was some nice confidence there. So, yeah, that was a really good trade from yourself, Damien. That VWAP has tested resistance 3 times on the local, waiting to run. Yeah, it's just continuing to hold price down at this moment in time. But if we can get above this, I really don't see I really don't see a reason why price can't rise up to, like 50, approximately $53,000, right? I think we could see a really nice move up. So yeah, it's just a matter of patience, right? Okay, it's just literally a matter of patience. Yeah, so the long trade, let's take a look at how much profit is it in at this moment in time. So it's in $600 profit. I can pull that trade up for you actually as well. Where are we? Just under $600 now. So yeah, it's Let's just turn the other screen on as well. So yeah, I mean, like, I would love to add to this trade as well. Like, I would really like to add to this trade as well. So yeah, this is the current long trade that I am in from, yeah, the failed auction from here. Okay, and I mean, like, I would like to initially add to this trade. Like, I would like to add to the trade, but I just want to see. I just want to see that monthly VWAP being broken. If we can break that monthly VWAP, then I'm happy to add to the trade. But unless we do that, I'm not going to add to the trade because I just don't see any major sign of strength unless we can break that monthly VWAP with strength, right? And that's kind of how I view it at this moment in time. Matt Brown, good to see you here. I don't believe have I seen you before here. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's really good to see new faces here, Matt Brown. Good to see you here. I feel like I might have seen you in here before. I can't really remember. It's a bear flag, 45K incoming. Yeah, I mean, this is a target that, um, I myself am actually looking at as well, and 45 or 43,000 is kind of what I'm looking at, right? If we do lose this here, okay, I am looking for like $51,700 for that next major, like, possible long trade setup, because we do have confluence there with of course the monthly naked point of control. We do have a monthly naked point of control as well there. So yeah, I do like the confluence there. And if we can see lots of fear in the market, we can see lots of shorts opening up, and we start to like form that failed auction or swing failure pattern of that POC with the naked point of control, then for me it's like, okay, this is a sign of strength, right? We can look for higher prices here, because we have lots of trap traders at the low, which will most likely have to cover on that move up. Okay, they will most likely have to cover, adding fuel to the fire, pushing the price higher. Okay, but if we don't see that there, okay, we just see a continuation lower, then for me, it is kind of like $43,000, where from there, okay, again, it's the same scenario, where we have where the naked point of controls again. I'll actually move them there so it's a bit easier to find them. Okay, on that, we have a weekly naked point of control. We have a few weekly naked point of controls there below as well. So, I mean, if price starts to move below it a little bit, we can reclaim it. Okay, we start to see a little rise, right? And there's lots of trapped shorts at the low. For me, that would be a really, really nice long entry from there. Okay, and that long entry could possibly take us back all the way up to all-time high. And this is something that, like, I'm not like opposed to. Like, I'm really happy to see 43K and then all-time high from there, because I talked about this in yesterday's live stream, and like the live stream, some of the live streams last week as well. Okay, I have talked about this where $43,000 is a very realistic target. And anybody that's saying, no, we're never going to see $43,000 again is just not really thinking in a logical manner. Okay. And, I like to use this example of, what's currently going on with the stock market and what previously happened within the stock market as well. So, this is like really important what is going on right now, okay? Because remember, 2020, 2021, we had this huge rally, okay? This huge bull market, okay, to all-time highs. Absolutely crazy. Then we had this massive, massive sell-off, okay? And it was a pretty significant pullback in price, right? It was. And everybody got extremely fearful here. Everybody thought the bull market was over. And, it was a 56% pullback. All right, a 56% pullback. But if we take a look at the stock market, okay, between that same, that same time frame. So where were we? We were between the 12th of April and the 19th of July. Yeah, 19th of July. So the 12th of April and the 19th of July. Let's go on to the weekly. Okay, it should be back here. April, 12th of April. Yeah, we're there to the 2 July. Okay. Where are we here? To July. Okay, so from April, like the start of April, okay, to July, right? What happened to the stock market? Okay, well, the stock market had this rise towards the upside here. Okay, the stock market was rising as Bitcoin was falling. Okay, and then after that, after Bitcoin had that big drop, okay, of course, we then had that next big rise, okay, which took us to a new all-time high, right? We had a new all-time high just under 70K, right? And at that same time, the stock market continued, right, continued to rise, okay, in the same time frame. Right, so the stock market was just continuously rising, continuously making new all-time highs, right? Whilst Bitcoin had the pullback and then the all-time high, and that's just exactly what we are seeing right now as well. Okay, we have seen this huge bull market on Bitcoin, right, taking us all the way up to all-time high. Okay, where we are now seeing this pullback, right? And in comparison to that previous pullback, right, this is a very small pullback. This is a 28% pullback, right? But this pullback, let's say, we come down to like $43,000, which, I think is a realistic target, right? That's a 42% pullback. Okay, so it's a similar sized pullback to what we had back here. It's similar sized. It could even go a little bit lower as well, right? It could even go a little bit lower as well, right? But a similar sized pullback, right? But what is happening with the stock market? Well, the stock market is continuously making new all-time highs, right? Continuously rising, continuously making new all-time highs. Going back to Bitcoin, right? Whilst the stock market is making new all-time highs, we could continue lower, right? Continue lower to possibly $43,000, where from there, right, if the stock market is again continuously, right, let's just get this from here to like here. What have I done? Nope. I need the fractal. We get to this. Okay, so let's say the stock market is continuously making new all-time highs, right? As Bitcoin finds the bottom, okay, and then starts to rise, then I fully believe, right, that Bitcoin can go up and make a new all-time high from there. Okay, I fully believe that if the stock market is going to continue to make those new all-time highs, I don't see why Bitcoin will not continue to make new all-time highs, right? We tend to see Bitcoin follow the stock market a lot of the time, right? And this is that this is that moment when we started to see those decouple. Okay, even though they started to decouple, eventually, right? They coupled again, they paired again, right? We started to see Bitcoin rising whilst the stock market was rising. We started to see, Bitcoin making new all-time high as the stock market was continuously making new all-time highs, right? So, I'm really not opposed to seeing Bitcoin come down to $43,000. To be honest, I'm in favor of this because, for my HODL portfolio and even just for my trading portfolio as well, I could be looking at really nice buying opportunities here, okay, and really nice longing opportunities, okay. And again, if the stock market is going to continue to remain bullish, and personally, again, I'm not a huge fundamental analysis. I'm not a huge fundamental trader, but I just understand what is driving the market at this moment, and that is, of course, AI. Nvidia is kind of what is pulling the stock market up. Okay, and I do see that coming to an end, but I don't see that coming to an end anytime soon, really. Okay, I don't really see, I do think this AI, I'm probably getting a little bit, you could say political or whatever, but not necessarily political, but maybe too fundamental, right? I do think that, that there is a bit of an AI bubble going on right now, like we had the .com bubble. Okay, I do think there is a little bit of a bubble that is occurring. Okay, when is it going to end? We don't know. Do I think it's going to end anytime soon? Not at all. Okay, I still think we're very, very early on where this AI is going to take us. Okay, but I do think that's going to continue to bring that stock market up. Okay, and at some point, I do think that bubble is going to burst, and we are going to see a big pullback, right? Which is going to be that bear market, right? Which is going to be the bear market. Okay, I don't see that happening anytime soon, right? So I do think okay, that the stock market is going to continue to go up. All right, I don't see any reason why the stock market. Okay, of course, we have all of the other factors as well. If we are talking fundamentals with, possible wars and all of that. Okay, I understand that that could be a catalyst for it as well. Okay, a bit of a black swan event, right? But at this moment in time, right, with none of that. Okay, let's say none of that occurs. Let's hope none of that occurs as well. But none of that occurs, right? I just don't see AI stopping anytime soon. I do think the bubble is going to pop at some point, but I don't think it will be anytime soon. So, a move down to $43,000. It's a valid target in my eyes, and it's just an amazing buying opportunity. Okay, an amazing buying opportunity and a longing opportunity to then look for new all-time highs. Okay, then where we can possibly come up to like $80,000, right? And then maybe we talk about the all-time high ending at like 80, maybe $90,000. Personally, I just don't see us going to 100,000. I think, I've got many reasons for it, but one of the reasons is it's just a huge psychological level. We can look at, the previous bull market here, right? We front run that 70K level, and then we have the bear market, right? These psychological levels do tend to get front run quite a lot of the time. The all-time high, right? $74,000 front run. Okay, psychological level, really, isn't it? Okay, and we've front run that massively. So, yeah, 100K. I think again, if we're getting fundamental long term future, yeah, I think it's possible. But in this bull run, I don't think it's that realistic. It's a possibility, yes. I don't think it's that realistic, but yeah, maybe I'm getting a little bit too fundamental now, but of course, I like to have like my opinions. I understand that I am a long-term investor in this market as well as a short-term investor. So sometimes, I do of course like to talk about that as well. But yeah, I've seen some more comments. I found a godly harmonic bullish BAT at 43K, X at 24th of Jan, A at 73K from the 15th of March, B 1st of May, C the 5th of June at 71K, D at 43, at the 0.886 fib level, either 53K local bottom or 43 will be the next strong support. Strong trend line from 2023 ascending 16K to 25K to 43K. Golden pocket, super strong long, strong long at. Okay, lot of information to process there. Okay, so we can look at this. Yeah, godly. I don't tend to look at harmonics that often. I understand, they are very powerful, and it's kind of like, um, with the Elliott wave as well. I don't tend to look at them that often, and if I do tend to look at them, of course, it is mainly on the higher time frames. But yeah, we have. Let's have a look at this. So, let me just figure out, is this the daily, weekly, so X at 24th of Jan. I'm guessing 24th of Jan this year, right? Okay, let's go on to the daily for it. Do 24th of right, 23rd, 24th of Jan to the 15th of March. To 1st of May. Bit down there. Which high have you taken here? The 21st of May or the 7th of June? The 1st of May. Oh, sorry, yeah, the 1st of May and then the 5th of June. Yeah, you've taken it from the 5th of June or the 7th of June on this chart here. D at 43 at the 0 point. I can't get it on the 6, but yeah, and initially, yeah, $43,000. So yeah, that's actually, yeah, looking at that, that's actually really nice, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's actually really nice. And again, yeah, it's just like even more confidence, right, for that move down to possibly $43,000. And then you were talking about the strong trend line from 2023. It's sending from 16K to 25K. Looks sexy. Yes. Yeah, it does. It does look really sexy. It does. And yeah, I mean, yeah, a big thing as well is like the time, like how quickly is this move gonna occur? And if we're kind of looking at it as what has happened back here. Again, that was a very, very quick move down, consolidation at the low. So again, like if we do see this pullback from where we are now, I would say it's going to be a pretty quick and pretty swift move down as well. If we were to lose like 51,700, okay, and we lost that pretty quickly with pretty strong weakness, I'd be looking for $43,000 pretty quickly as well. But yeah, that Gartley harmonic does look sexy as you said there perfectly, Damien. So yeah. And then as well we have I don't know if the log scale. So yeah, I guess you're looking at this on the log scale, Damien, because yeah, with this trend line here, for me on this one, it doesn't really line up too much with the $43,000 unless we get to January 2025. So I feel like you're looking at it on the log scale. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, again, that could act as some really nice support. Okay, and again, this just shows that even if we do pull back to $43,000, we are still in a bullish trend, right? Yes, more locally, okay, and now more like on a low, still locally, but on a higher time frame, we are bearish, right? Because we do have this bearish market structure here, okay. But in the grand scheme of things, okay, we're still very, very bullish, right? Even if log scale, perfect. So again, what you've just shown here is that even if we do come down to $43,000, right? There's no reason not to think that we are still in a bull market, right? Because we just have this continuous like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high possibly, okay? And then, right, where we can actually go from there, okay, is we can actually look for the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, okay, down to $43,000, and then for the wave 5, right, wherever that may take us, 80,000, 90,000, just wherever that may take us, okay. But again, this trend line that you've just just presented to us here, okay, it just kind of like shows that we're still very bullish. Okay, we're still in a very, very bullish market. If it drops to 43k all in, yeah, that would be a very Degen way to trade, right? But yeah, I mean, for me, like, yeah, $43,000 is kind of that key level. If we can get there and if we can show the strength at that level, I love the support of this level. I love it. I love the strength that we have. We have POC from a previous range. We have, this trend line that you've just drawn out here. We have that harmonic that you've mentioned there. We've got naked point of controls, okay, weekly naked point of controls down there. We've got the mid-range, okay. We've got the mid-range of this massive, let's see if we still got it on here. I might have to redraw it out. We've got the mid-range of this massive range that we are in here as well, okay? Let's see if I can catch the low here. It's a little bit harder on this lower time frame. But yeah, that's oh, sorry, what am I on about here? Sorry, we're looking at like 51,700. Sorry, 51,700. Sorry, okay, that's like a just an amazing level as well. It's logs. It's because I'm still on log scale here as well. But yeah, it's just so much support. It's like 43,000. Right, we have we know we have a lot of support at that level. But like even just like looking at this. Looking at this trend line here, log scale it's saying 51,700, but then when we come to the normal scale, that is coming in at like possibly. It depends on the time frame, right? It does depend on the time frame. Let's get rid of all of this. Too much noise. The log scale, was just messing with me a little bit there. But yeah, again, right, it just shows like how much support we do have below us. And I mean, even if we do come down to 51,700, right, looking at this on the log scale, right, we've got this, we remain bullish in that, okay, and we could see that pivot point of 51,700. It just all depends on what is happening at each of the levels, right? It depends on what is happening there, okay? And it's like, we can never sit here and, I see it a lot where people will sit here and say, right, okay, this is going to be the low before the rally, okay? Right now, I can sit here and I can happily say I don't know where the low is going to be, right? All I can do is I can trade each low. So 51,700. Let's go back into the. Oh no, let's have a look at it on the log scale again. So, this looks. Sorry, the log scale is just messing with my brain just a little bit, right? Yeah. So, because what the plan I had in my head, right, is that we have this parallel channel here, and if we're looking at it on the normal scale, right? If we're looking at it on the normal scale, okay, mid-range is of course at $53,000. If we add it to the log, right, okay, then it changes it, right? Okay, so normal scale, we're looking at the mid-range of the parallel channel at $43,000. Okay, that's where the mid-range is, right? Then we're pulling it onto the log scale, right? Getting rid of that parallel channel. We know, okay, mid-range is at $43,000, right? That would, be in confluence with us actually coming down to that $43,000 on this log scale here, okay, with this ascending trend line here, okay, which would possibly, again, looking at this as like a wave, a possible ending of wave 4. Okay, we could have lots of we do have lots of confluence at that level, right, for then a move up to wave 3. Okay, again, like what I was saying, okay, we don't know where price is going to rise from. We have $51,000, okay, where price could possibly actually rise from there, okay. We could see price rise from sorry, 51, not 41, $51,000, okay. And it just all depends on what is going on at that time. I can't sit here and say price is going to come down to 43, and then we're going to go to all-time high from there. Okay, all I can establish, right, is where the key levels are, right? And when we get to one of these key levels, if I see that reaction that I want to see, i.e., okay, I see lots of shorts coming in, price then starts to rise. We have lots of trap traders. Okay, we then maybe see longs coming in as well. Okay, all of that in favor of pushing the price higher, because trap traders at the low means that they're going to have to cover. They're going to have to buy back into the market, adding fuel to the fire, pushing the price higher. So yeah, it's just whether that happens at 51, because I mean, it could in theory, it could happen at both levels, right? We could come down to 51,700. We could get a long trade set up from there, but maybe it's just another lower high. Okay, and then we could actually come down. So it could be more like a shorter time frame long trade. Okay, for then a bigger move down to $43,000. That could be a possibility as well. And then maybe there's the long from 43. Okay, at this moment, I understand, right, the highest. The most amount of support is coming in at like $43,000. So if we just saw mass fear coming in down here, right, price then started to rise with loads of trap traders. That would just be an amazing long. There is just so much confidence at that level. Big golden pocket at 43. If you draw fib from 25 to 74, I think we might have looked at this actually. We might have looked at this on one of the live streams as well, I think. So we've got a massive GP level there, golden pocket level there. I mean, there is just so much confidence at that $43,000, which is why I like this $43,000 level as a possible long trade. Okay, as a possible long trade. That's why I like it so much. But of course, we have to be aware as well, right, that we may not get the reaction that we want there. Okay, we haven't really got the reaction that we wanted to see here. Again, I wanted to see lots of trapped shorts at the low. We didn't get that. Okay, so there's not a true reason why price should rise right now. Okay, initially, right, if we want price to rise, we have to see new long trades coming in, right? But if we had lots of shorts at the low, we wouldn't need the long trades to come in. Okay, because what would happen is it would be a domino effect of shorts closing, buying back into the market. Okay, and initially shorts would be driving the price up. Short squeeze. Okay, squeezing out all of those shorts. Okay, and then again you get higher and you come into more shorts. Okay, and just squeezing out more and more shorts. Right, what we had here, we had a long squeeze there on this move down, we had a short squeeze on this move up, we had a long squeeze here. Okay, so we haven't had the setup that we wanted here. Again, that's why I've entered into this long trade with small capital. Okay, so I've entered into the long trade with minimal capital, and I mean, we could come down here and we could not see the fear in the market, right? We could then come down here and then we could see the fear in the market. We could see the FOMO, okay, where the shorts are shorting the low, price starts to rise, trap traders at the low, they have to cover, pushing price higher, right? So again, I'm looking for that possible bullish reaction at either 51,700. We don't get it there, okay, then I can look for it down at $43,000. If we don't get it at $43,000, because remember, right, we have to zoom out, okay, and we have to see what the broader market context is at this moment in time, right? And in theory, okay, the broader market context is range bound price action. Right. Yes, of course, we've got this huge move up. So the context is very bullish here. Right. But then if you're looking back a little bit further, right, this is kind of just range bound price action. Right. We have range high, range low. We've come up to range high. We formed the swing failure pattern / failed auction of it. We're starting to see price pull back. Right. Initially, if you're looking at this on a lower time frame, okay, $43,000 is your next target at the mid range. If you lose that, okay, then we're looking down at $15,000. So we have to take this into consideration. Okay, if we don't see the bullish reaction we want to see at $43,000, right, then we can look for lower prices there, right? And initially, like I don't want to, I don't want to see price coming down here. But if we don't see, the fear, because initially, right, the market is driven by fear. Okay, whenever you hear a lot of people talk about this, right? Like talk about, you want to buy when everybody is fearful in the market, but a lot of people just do not listen to that. And a lot of people say it, but a lot of people just do not listen to that whatsoever. You want to be looking for where you want to smell where that fear is in the market, and here, to in all honesty, there isn't much fear in the market where we are here. Okay, there was more fear on this move down than there was on this move down here, right? Because we had just massive FOMO shorts at the low. Okay, we don't have that here. So for me, okay, looking at like retail traders and what they're doing, they're not massively fearful here, to be honest with you. Okay, they may not be fearful at 51,700. Okay, but they may be fearful at $43,000, right? And that's when we can look to take advantage of the fear in the market. Okay, that's when we can take advantage of the fear in the market, because if we're seeing loads and loads of trap shorts at the low, we're just looking for a short squeeze up, right? So it's again like we've been looking for this for I've been talking about this for a very long time, ever since we formed this swing failure pattern of the range high. I've been saying like we have to remain cautious of this, right? We can be looking for $43,000. I've been saying that ever since we formed that swing failure pattern. Again, we just have to remain cautious of it, and it could turn into something pretty messy if we do lose $43,000. Do I think that? No. Okay, I don't believe. Getting back to like the broader market context, I don't think that the bull market is over. Right? I don't believe that. I think $43,000 all-time high is a realistic target. Right? Can I put money that's gonna sorry, can I put money on that is what's going to happen? No. Okay, of course not. I'll never put money on anything in advance, right? I will always wait for price to get to the level, and I will, look to see if we're getting the fear in the market, look to see if we're getting those trap traders, and then I will look to enter into a long trade to take advantage of a rise towards the upside, right? But I would never set a limit order down here and expect price to rise, right? If you're setting a limit order at $43,000, in my eyes, you are kind of betting that price, it's more betting, right? I understand, yes, there's a lot of support down here, okay, but I still see it as betting, because you're not looking at what is actually going on within the market, i.e., what are traders doing. So for me, I would never set a limit order there. I will always just wait and see what the reaction is like. When I say reaction, I mean like what are traders doing down there? What are they doing? Are they fearful? Are they are they bullish? Right? What are they doing up there? Down there. God mode activated. I like it. Yeah, exactly. You've got to activate that God mode if you if you want to understand what's take advantage of these moves in the markets, right? You really have to understand what is going on. A lot of the people in these markets just don't know what is going on at levels, right? And that's why I advocate for looking at order flow so much. Like it just gives you so much information that you just can't get in TradingView, which I just love so much. And a lot of people can't be bothered to look at stuff like this, right? They can't be bothered. They look at it once and they think, it's too much. I don't want to learn it, And I was the same when I started to look at this. I was like, how am I going to understand this? It's impossible. It's like trying to read a book in a language that you don't understand. But once you understand it, it gives you a good understanding of the market and a good understanding of where fear is coming in the markets, where big institutions are, where big traders are, where absorption is occurring, all sorts, right? You can understand all sorts from it, and I will never go back to the days where I was trading without this ever. And again, it just gives you so much more information than these candlesticks. I love these candlesticks. It's just like a very simple way of viewing it. I will never just view order flow because I think this is a pretty ugly way to look at it. Again, with trading, I like to simplify things for myself, just to, of course, when you're looking at entering into trades, when you're trading, or even when you're just like looking for like long-term trades as well, there is a lot of information that you need to look at. There's a lot of emotion that is going through your body, going through your mind, and you're trying to fight that emotion, of course. That's a big thing in trading. You need to fight against that emotion. So by like having complicated charts, that for me just like makes everything so much more difficult and so much more stressful. If you make everything just less stressful for yourself, I always find it is just a much better trading experience. And it's kind of much easier to be kind of like relaxed when you're taking a trade, because you want to be relaxed. You want to be taking these like precise decisions, right? You want to be looking at these decisions and really understanding them. And for me, I look at my object tree here and I look how ugly that is. I keep saying to myself, I need to sort it out. It is in my head, it's kind of sorted out, but yeah, it is very messy. But a lot of these things I do like to look at, so I like to have them at hand. But yeah, this is one of my weaknesses in trading is like my object tree. I just like there's just too much going on there. There's just too much going on. I need to sort that out. I always find like simplifying things is really good. Is really good for us. But I think, to be honest, I think that's everything, right? Let's have a look at the. There's just nothing going on at the moment. Volume is just non-existent, right? Today's been a very, very boring day, to be honest with you. So I will just leave it there. I think I've talked about everything that I've wanted to talk about. So I've been live for an hour, so I will leave it there. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Thank you very much for everybody who's put their input into the chat as well. I really like hearing your guys' input, and of course, as traders, I always believe that you can continuously learn every single day in the markets. I believe that I learn every single day in the markets as well. So that's why I like to listen to your guys' opinions on things as well, and take a look at your guys' view of things as well. And Damien, thank you very much for putting your input in as well. Matt Brown as well, thank you for putting your input in. I know you're looking at that bear flag there as well. 45k incoming. I don't think that's a unrealistic target. I think that's a very realistic target. I'd even go a step further and say, like me and Damien are looking at, right? $43,000. I just don't think that's an unrealistic target whatsoever. Again, going back to what happened in 2021, we had this big pullback, stock market continued to rise. Okay. We then went to all-time high as stock market was continuing to rise. As long as the stock market continues to rise, I do not see why Bitcoin can't make another new all-time high. Yes, maybe in the short-term time frame, we come a little bit lower. Okay, we come down to maybe $43,000, right? But then from there, I would still expect another all-time high, right? So it's just patience. Let's see how it plays out. We've been looking at this bearish Elliott wave count for so long now. Okay, ever since we formed this wave 3 here, I've been looking at this and I've been saying, we can be looking for the wave 4, then for the wave 5, right? Okay, and I was literally talking about that back in the 1st of May. Okay, and we're all the way in July now. Okay, so I was looking all the way back in May there. So again, this just shows, right, you need to exercise patience in these markets because it does take time for things to play out. Okay, it does take time. So exercising patience is another like really big thing in trading as well. But yeah, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for for watching, everybody. Thank you very much for putting your input into the chat as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next live stream. So I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Please smash that thumbs up button. Of course, subscribe if you're new as well, and I can continue to bring this content to you. So have a lovely rest of your day.